Do you have enough preps? Hey everybody, this is Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. Good question, right? Yeah, the sun is high in the sky, so you're going to be looking at a shadow. Sorry, not sorry. It's a beautiful day out. Finally getting some sun on the garden. And yeah, this has been, it's like, is summer ever going to get here? I know it's going to, and I know when it gets here, it's going to be like, oh man, where was that nice cool weather back? Where was it at? Because it's going to get really hot. There's a lot of stuff coming down the pipe, a lot of stuff on the horizon, a lot of threats, a lot of potential for chaos and stuff. So yeah, we see it. Inflation, increased prices, massively increased prices, shortages, just all kinds of stuff that's just leading down a dangerous road. So let's talk about preps. Preparedness, your food storage, your water storage, your etc. prep, stuff like that. Do you have enough? Well, let's talk about some ballparks then. How much should you have? Well, whatever makes you comfortable, whatever gives you peace of mind. But let's throw some numbers out there. Let's talk about some specifics. First off, food storage, without the ability to replenish it, will run out. The time you open that first bucket, that first container, that first bag, whatever it is, you're starting the stopwatch on your life. How long do you want to live? How much is your life worth? Whenever I think about, people talk to me about, like, for example, plates. Level 3 plates, soft armor, level 4 plates. What should I get? These are more expensive, stuff like that. Well, the same kind of idea. How much is your life worth? Should I have a helmet? How much is your life worth? Should I have a year of food or more? How much is your life worth? All these things. Yeah. How long would you like to live? I personally would like to live longer than 1 year. So, the ability to replenish it is, your food storage is very important. That's why you see, I'm not showing it in this video, but my garden. Going on, I have 24 raised beds now. 2 in-ground area, 3 in-ground areas. Well, kind of a 4 or 5 in-ground area, 6 in-ground areas. Yeah. 7 actually, 8. Yeah, so I'm talking, and then a bunch of containers. What? I have like 18 different containers, all with potatoes in them. Well, actually, there's a couple with peppers and stuff like that. But anyway, that's off topic. Really quick, before we get back on topic, please help me out. I would really appreciate your help with this. You guys know, if you watch other channels, my channel, we are not liked by them. You are not liked by them. So please subscribe. Please check back often and make sure you're still subscribed, because you will get unsubscribed at some point. Ring the notification bell for all, please. All these little things help in getting the videos seen by more people, bringing more people into the preparedness fold, onto our team. Hitting that thumbs up helps. Comments help. Sharing the videos helps. All this stuff helps. And if you want to help out more direct, there's that little heart with a thanks in it. That's a super thanks. You can click on that and donate some money. Little, a lot, whatever, if you feel so inclined. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. Please, I have bare minimum, please have at least a month, if not 3 months, 6 months. 6 months is kind of my recommendation for bare minimum. Because, think about it, if there's some kind of event, maybe not a total collapse of society, but say things get really bad, this summer, rolling into midterms, stuff like that. 6 months puts you back into spring, approximately, which is when things start growing again, where there's wild edibles more available, stuff like that. But remember, with wild edibles, roots are always there. So that's important to know. So food, yeah. Water. Water is difficult because water it weighs a lot, takes up a lot of space, and it may be a little bit more challenging to store. Lots of. I recommend storing and filling every single container you possibly can and that you have room for with water. Any suitable container. Have them marked as far as drinking or non. You could put yes, no. Yes for drinking, no for not. Because the no for not is still very usable. I don't know if you know this, but your toilet will still flush without power. Don't just pour it in the bowl where you go pee and stuff like that. That might work, but the way to make it really work, take that little lid on the back, take that off, fill that up, then just flush the toilet. Bang, it works. It's amazing. Same with hygiene, baths. It's important. What about watering your garden? There's a lot of uses for water, right? Yeah, so have lots of water. But let's talk numbers. I would highly recommend you have a month of water. And that's not the 1 gallon per person per day. That's just drinking. Then you got to figure in, if you have a garden, it takes a lot of water to water a garden. I am nowhere near prepared to water-wise, on hand, on stock. Here, I could not water my garden all summer. There's no way. But I have many methods, many backup plans for going and getting more water. Lakes, streams, ponds, pools, rivers, those kinds of things. So that's important. You're not going to be able to stockpile all the water you're going to need to survive a long-term event. That's why you have to identify sources to replenish your water. So say 6 months of food, a month of water. But okay, so if you're not talking about a gallon per person per day, what are we talking? I would highly recommend at least 3 gallons per person per day because you won't always use that. And some people, okay, little ones, won't need a whole gallon. But others will need more. If you're out working hard in July, August, in the sun, sweating your tootie off, your behind off, then you're going to need to stay well hydrated. And there's other factors that come into play also, where you'll need to use more water than you think. Those beans and rice that you have stockpiled take a lot of water to cook. That is yes water. Make sure you know that. Drinking water. So, other than food and water, what other things, basic things, should you have? You should have a fixed blade knife. You should have a pocket knife. You should have a multi-tool. You should have a tool bag, a toolbox with basic hand tools. Hammers, saws, wrenches, stuff like that. Cordage, 550 cord, rope, different sizes. Fishing line works really good in a lot of applications. Baling wire works really good. Twine, I use that for tying up garden stuff. Yeah. And then there's shelter, tarps. Another thing is with all this stuff is you really don't want to ever have just one of something. That's a general prepper rule. 1 is none, 2 is 1. I know, but with all that aside, seriously, because if you only have, 1 lighter, well, what happens when it dies or it breaks or just doesn't work? Yeah, backup. Just like in the military, we always talk about not being the single point failure. Don't be the only person with the information. Don't be the senior man with the information. Always pass it up the chain. You don't want Because if one person knows, that person goes down, well, that knowledge goes down. Or that person's sick, and they don't show up. What happens? Same kind of thing. Backup plans. Always have backup plans. We talk about bugging out. Have at least a bug out location or 2 or 3. At least identify it on a map, Google Earth, something like that, where you can kind of do some reconnaissance of it, know the general area, bare minimum. There's a lot to preparedness, but we're talking about benchmarks here. What about, a lot of people like talking about freedom seeds and garden seeds. Garden seeds, I'd recommend just having a lot. They're inexpensive. Just have, so if you are gardening, have enough seeds on hand to replant your garden for, say, 2 or 3 years. Because you can collect your seeds also, and I highly recommend doing that. There's a lot to this. What about clothing? What about extra clothing? What about extra good quality boots, socks, foot powder, duct tape? I mean, there's so many things to this. Medical. If you think you have enough gauze, double it, and you still won't have enough. Because a lot of people think about wound care if you get injured, and they think about initial care. Well, they don't think about the long-term care. They don't think how many times that dressing needs to be changed to take care of that wound. You're going to end up using way more gauze than you ever thought you would. Quick clot gauze, stuff like that. Hemostatic gauze, good thing to have also. Tourniquets. A lot of people think, oh, I got a tourniquet or 2, I'm good. Well, you may want to rethink that. I have a tourniquet, at least 1 tourniquet on each of my kits. I have at least 1 tourniquet on each of my battle belts. I have at least 1 tourniquet hanging on a fire extinguisher next to each door in the house. I have at least 1 tourniquet in our med bag. I have at least 1 tourniquet in each vehicle. Yeah. Bug out bags. A lot of people talk about that. Have a get home bag in each vehicle with enough food to get yourself home, say 3 days. If it takes that long. If you're traveling further, maybe take more. But remember, you're going to have to carry it. Things are not headed in a good direction right now. So we need to up our games. We need to ensure that we give ourselves the best chance for survival. We need to give ourselves the longest term chance for survival. Don't get overwhelmed. I know it's a lot. Also, mix up your food storage. I talk about that also. Dry goods, canned goods, freeze-dried, bucketed food, stuff like that. Stockpile what you eat, not what you won't. Make sure that you're not just stockpiling calories, that you're stockpiling for macro and micronutrients. That's very important. Macronutrients, protein, carbs, and fats. You need to have a well-balanced diet of those because your body needs all those. Micronutrients, all those things like A, B, D, zinc, potassium, boron, iodine, all, sodium, all these different things. Those are micronutrients. Make sure that what you're stockpiling has plenty of micronutrients in it. Multivitamins? Sure, add those into your preps, but try to get most of your nutrients from your food. That's why I highly recommend growing your own food, raising your own food, because it's much higher nutrients than the stuff grown on mega farms that is over-farmed. The quality of your dirt and your ground, your soil, is exponentially higher than what they have. All they care about is growth and production rates so that they can make more money. Start your own compost bin. Make your own compost. When you're building your beds, fill them full of organic material, like that one that I'm filling in. That's just shredded up cardboard that will compost down. Compost type stuff from the kitchen, and all kinds of greens and stuff like that I trimmed from bushes around my yard. And then right about now we're getting ready to throw some topsoil in there and finish that bed. So always be bettering your position. Your preparedness level should be higher tomorrow than it is today, every single day. Fitness. Fitness, fitness, fitness. Please do something to improve your fitness level every day. Maybe take one day off a week. Or at least start with every other day. Move your body functionally so that your body can perform functional tasks when needed for extended periods of time under situations of duress. Anyway, I'll wrap it up here. We covered some ground. It's important that we take this seriously. Cut out things out of our diets, our expenses that we can, and put that money into preparedness. It's important. I want you guys to thrive, not just survive. Remember, before I go, that prepping is living insurance. Have a wonderful day, and blessings to you and yours.